of Ravenswood, nestled between dense forests and fog-covered hills, there stood an old, dilapidated house. Locals spoke in hushed tones about its haunted history, claiming that strange occurrences and ghostly sightings were not uncommon within its decaying walls. But on one fateful night, the town's eerie tales would come to life. It was a moonless night, the air heavy with an otherworldly stillness. The residents of Ravenswood were safely tucked away in their beds, oblivious to the impending intrusion. The clock struck midnight, and an ethereal fog crept through the town, blanketing everything in an eerie glow. As the clock tower chimed, the creaking gate of the haunted house swung open with a groan that echoed through the deserted streets. A small figure emerged from the shadows, a girl no older than 10, with dark, tangled hair and a pale face that seemed almost translucent in the moonlight. She wore a tattered, white dress that clung to her fragile form. The girl moved with an unsettling grace, her bare feet making no sound as she crossed the overgrown garden and approached the house. The windows rattled as if in greeting, and the wind whispered through the decaying walls, carrying with it a melancholic melody that sent shivers down the spine. The front door, hanging loosely on its hinges, swung open with a mournful creak, inviting the mysterious girl inside. She stepped over the threshold, and the door closed behind her with an ominous thud. The interior was suffused with a ghostly glow, the only light emanating from the moon filtering through the broken windows. Undeterred by the eerie atmosphere, the girl explored the house with an uncanny familiarity. She seemed to know its every nook and cranny, moving silently through the dimly lit corridors. Dust particles danced in the air, caught in the ethereal glow that surrounded her. As she ascended the grand staircase, the floorboards groaned beneath her weight. The air grew colder, and a soft, haunting lullaby echoed through the hallways. The girl reached the top floor, where a single door stood ajar. The room beyond was shrouded in darkness, except for a feeble glimmer emanating from an antique mirror. Approaching the mirror, the girl's reflection flickered with an unsettling distortion. It was as though the glass held a portal to another realm, one filled with phantoms and shadows. The room seemed to breathe with a life of its own, and the temperature dropped further. Suddenly, the mirror's surface rippled like a disturbed pond, and the room was filled with the whispers of 1,000 forgotten souls. The girl raised her hand, and the mirror responded, revealing glimpses of spectral figures trapped in a timeless dance. They reached out to her, their wistful faces imploring release from their ethereal prison. Unfazed, the girl chanted an ancient incantation, her voice blending with the ghostly chorus. The room trembled as the spirit's energy intensified. The walls groaned, and a soft glow enveloped the girl as she became a conduit for the otherworldly forces. In that moment, the town of Ravenswood stirred from its slumber. Lights flickered in the distance, and the clock tower tolled in dissonant harmony. The residents, drawn by an unseen force, gazed toward the haunted house with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Back in the room, the girl's eyes glowed with an otherworldly radiance as the spirits flowed through her. The mirror shattered, releasing a burst of spectral energy that swept through the house and into the night. The town was engulfed in an eerie glow, and the spirits dispersed, leaving behind a profound silence. The girl, now drained of her ethereal glow, collapsed to the floor. The haunted house, once a vessel for trapped souls, now stood silent and empty. The fog lifted, and the moon cast its pale light upon Ravenswood once more. As the first rays of dawn broke, the residents cautiously approached the house, finding it devoid of the eerie atmosphere that had plagued it for generations. The girl, her eyes closed, lay at the center of the room, a serene expression on her face. The townspeople exchanged bewildered glances, unsure of what had transpired. The haunted house, it seemed, had found its peace, and the mysterious girl, a conduit for the supernatural, had completed her enigmatic task. Ravenswood, though forever marked by its haunted history, could finally breathe a sigh of relief as the sun rose on a new day.